Luka Dončić is officially a Los Angeles Laker. Well, I guess technically not officially yet, but he just got traded to the Los Angeles Lakers as reported by Shams Charania. I honestly can't even believe it. I would have to say this is probably the most shocking trade, at least in my lifetime watching the NBA. I wasn't around for I don't even know what you could compare to this. The night that I could compare it to is probably the Paul George and Kawhi Leonard night when they both went to the Clippers. But I mean, we know how that turned out. Didn't really happen to be much, and so that night kind of faded away into obscurity. Another maybe day that you could compare it to was the KD to the Warriors day, but all of this was during July, during free agency. This is in the middle of January, and it's someone the league considered untouchable, or most people in the league would consider untouchable before this point. I don't know if you can consider anybody untouchable after what just happened tonight. Maybe Wembanyama, maybe. This is unprecedented. This is some crazy stuff. There has to be something going on behind the scenes. My biggest theory is that Adam Silver is maybe behind this to boost the ratings up. I feel like that's I don't know. It's very anti-David Stern because, he vetoed the trade for Chris Paul to the Lakers. But I could see him doing something like this. This is just an insane trade. The Mavs owner said Luka was very overweight. They said, I don't know if I might have to find the report, but they said he was reaching 260. Listen, they not trading Zion out of New Orleans yet. They're not giving up on someone who has Zion made the playoffs yet? I'm not even sure. Zion hasn't won a playoff series. They're not giving up on someone who hasn't even won a playoff series for them yet. And Dallas is going to give up on Luka, who took them to the NBA Finals? That's where I don't understand this conditioning concern. He brought them to the NBA Finals last year. Did he think that they didn't win because he wasn't conditioned? I mean, listen, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but they didn't lose that finals matchup because Luka wasn't conditioned. You could maybe make a case that was part of it, but that Celtics team was a better basketball team. It was built better. I could understand the general manager of the Mavericks maybe feeling like that's not the case, having some ego, but he's going to get proven wrong if he thinks that's the case. I also saw another report that the owner is looking to go in a more defensive direction. That's cool. I don't feel like the Mavericks team as a whole is built like that. PJ Washington is an alright defender, I suppose. I mean, everyone on the team is an alright defender besides Kyrie. So, I mean, I can kind of see what he's going for a little bit, but even then, that team is built around Luka Dončić. That's not a grit and grind team. That's not. Hopefully, they can have an identity shift in the middle of the year if that's what he's hoping for. I'm not really sure what the Mavericks end game is. I see this team probably making the playoffs, but I don't see what you could do with this team in the playoffs realistically against such a stacked Western Conference. It's just, there's too much against them. This team goes against a team like the Nuggets. I mean, maybe AD can lock up. Honestly, now that I'm talking myself into it, maybe it's like a team like the Nuggets, they could knock them out. I would honestly say at this point the Thunder. I don't know. Let me look up. I don't know how close the Mavs are to the 8th seed right now, but if I had to pick a team that could give them some trouble, I would have to say the Thunder, because I don't know who on that team is going to guard Mr. Shea. And I'm not even saying Luka was going to do a fantastic job. Yeah, speaking of, they actually are the 8th seed. So let's say they run into the Thunder, and obviously there's the play-in, so they're not guaranteed the 8th seed. But let's say they run into the Thunder. Who is guarding Shea on that team? Shea's just going to abuse him, and then if it's not Shea, it's going to be Jay Will. And then Chet's going to have a decent, not a defensive advantage, but he's going to be able to play decent defense on AD. Another thing about this trade is AD does get his wish. AD gets to play with a center most likely once Lively comes back. And I don't know if they're going to play AD lineups with Gafford. I feel like that would be a little strange, but if they decide to do that, you could run AD with Gafford. A little strange, but So that's what they do. AD does. He was very adamant that he wanted a 5, and obviously Rob Pelinka said no. That is not a good idea. And listen, I feel like it's a very, not a heated debate, but I feel like it's a controversial debate about if AD should play the 4 or the 5, especially where I stand on it, because I feel like I stand on the more unpopular side of it, where I think he should play the 5, even though he has won a ring at the 4 with Dwight and JaVale. I just feel like personally, from what I've watched, he's more effective at the 5. Just because he's won a ring at the 4 doesn't necessarily mean he fits better at the 4. I think that team was better constructed than any other team he's ever been on. I think if he was on a well-constructed team with him at the 5, I think he would play just as well. I think he could have a chance to win a ring, especially with the way LeBron was playing during that playoff run, especially with the way that whole Lakers team was playing during that playoff run. It was a very good run, and some people might say it was a bubble run. Not me, but some people. But besides that, I mean, there's plenty to say. I could keep yapping on about this trade forever, and I might just do that. The next thing that I wonder is if LeBron is going to stay for this season. I would assume so. I think a lot of people are thinking that LeBron is going to get a trade out of here, or going off the reports that LeBron doesn't know anything about it. And if he truly doesn't, then that is kind of a sign that he might get traded. But judging off of the things that I have read and seen, I think LeBron really wants to play with Luka Dončić. I think if it was up to LeBron, it would be Steph Curry and then Luka right behind him of players he really wants to play with. And I think he, regardless of if he thinks they can win a ring or not, I think he's at the point in his career where he just wants to have fun with it. I mean, that might be a little crazy to say, but I really think it's at that point for Bron where he might be retiring soon. So I don't think he would pass up on an opportunity to play with one of those players that you really want to play with just for an unguaranteed ring with another team. Like, if he gets traded to another contender right now, there's still no guarantee that he's going to get a ring. Even if he gets traded to the Thunder right now, there's no guarantee that LeBron wins a ring with the Thunder. So you're giving up on playing with one of your favorite players in the NBA for what? You know what I mean? You're not necessarily going to get a ring going to one of these other contenders. And then you also have to live in Oklahoma. So, take that as you will. But yeah, this is one of the biggest deals in NBA history, probably the biggest in my lifetime or in my time watching the NBA. Probably what a lot of you guys is as well. If anyone's watching this video, this is actually probably going to be the first video on my channel, which is pretty insane. But hey, I had to get it started with a bang somehow, man. And this is going to be it. So I hope you guys enjoyed my analysis, my reaction to this trade. This is just first day reactions. This is first night reactions. It literally happened an hour ago. It's 12:37 a.m. Central right now. Like, it's pretty insane. It's an insane feeling. So I'll for sure have more reactions out. Please follow me on social media. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video first off, and follow me on everything if you want to see more of my reactions. And yeah, I appreciate your time. If you're still watching this video, you're a real one, because this is my first one. And please consider subscribing, liking the video, commenting. Let me know your thoughts on this crazy ass blockbuster trade. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.